Hey church, I am standing in the middle of the Hong Kong Convention and Exhibition Center. This was home for our church for the better part of a decade. In fact, when Shannon and I came to Hong Kong to kind of have the interview and look at the potential of taking on this role back in 2001, this is where I would preach that fateful sermon whereby a search committee would decide whether or not to give me the invitation to come. We thought that it would be a great idea, and we ended up coming thinking we'd stay for 5 years, which of course now has turned into 18. When we were meeting here at the Convention Center, we were moved around a lot based on availability. We would meet in room 201 or hall 5A or the convention hall or theater 1. All over this place we would be meeting. Occasionally, we wouldn't get a spot here when a convention came to town. And so that meant we would have to go to hotels. We would go to the Grand Hyatt. We went to the Marriott, to the Excelsior, to the Shangri-La. We went to so many different places, over 20 different locations, in fact. I would marvel week after week that people actually would show up, because I would think they're going to forget. They're not going to know where it is. During those days, we advertised in the paper, so you could pull open the paper to see where church actually met. You know, during that time of somewhat instability, there were many times we were offered additional places to meet that were cheaper, many times a little bit out of the way, more inconvenient. Often these were schools that were available but not as accessible. But the leadership of the church made a crucial decision that we wanted to be accessible for people so that we could take away the barriers for people to believe. In Acts chapter 15, Peter is speaking about what is required of those who were coming to faith. And he says in verse 9 of chapter 15, "We do not think it right to put barriers in front of those who are seeking to believe." And so that really drove a principle, a conviction that we've had in this church from those early days. To be available, to be accessible, so that those who may not even have faith at least know how to find a church. Great memories here at the Convention Center. And as I think back upon those early days, I realize that we are still the same church. We're in a different location. The configuration of people has changed, but the core convictions remain. We always want to be outward facing, giving to missions and outreach over 25% of our budget every year. And we always want to be accessible, available, so you can invite a friend and they know how to get there. It's not difficult, because the message of the gospel is so important.